You think you know who invented the most important things in the world? Think again. Here are 10 mind-blowing truths about famous inventions, the ones you probably never heard of. The light bulb wasn't Edison's idea. Thomas Edison is often celebrated as the father of the light bulb. But the truth is, it was actually British physicist Joseph Swan who developed the first working version in the 1870s. Edison came later, improved the design, and used aggressive marketing to make it famous worldwide. In fact, both inventors eventually had to settle their patent disputes by collaborating. Edison wasn't the true inventor. He was just the one who perfected it for mass production. The first smartphone wasn't from Apple. Many people believe Apple created the first smartphone with the iPhone. But in reality, IBM released a device called the Simon Personal Communicator in 1992. Simon had a touchscreen, could send emails, received faxes, and even had calendar functions. It was ahead of its time, but the technology wasn't quite there yet. Simon was too bulky, too expensive, and its battery lasted less than an hour. Airplanes didn't start with the Wright brothers. The Wright brothers are officially credited with the first successful powered flight in 1903. But there's evidence that a German-born pioneer named Gustav Weisskopf flew successfully 2 years earlier in Connecticut. There are eyewitness accounts and newspaper reports, but no definitive photos. As a result, his achievement was largely overlooked, but historians are now calling for him to be officially recognized as a pioneer in aviation. Shower gel was invented by accident. In the 1970s, a German chemist was working on creating a new shampoo formula, but during one experiment, the mixture didn't turn out as planned. It became too thick and didn't foam properly. Instead of discarding it, the chemist tested it on his body, and the results were surprising. It cleaned and moisturized the skin perfectly. And just like that, shower gel was born, thanks to a happy accident. Coca-Cola originally contained cocaine. When Coca-Cola first hit the market in 1886, it wasn't a soda, it was a medicinal tonic. One of its main ingredients was an extract from the coca plant which contained actual cocaine. Back then, cocaine was legal and even considered health boosting. It wasn't until 1904 that Coca-Cola began removing the cocaine, but it still had traces in it until the 1920s. The Internet was a Cold War project. What we now call the Internet started out as a military project. In the 1960s, the US Department of Defense developed ARPANET, a network designed to allow communication between computers even if a nuclear war wiped out most of the country's infrastructure. The goal was to create a decentralized network that could withstand attacks. It wasn't until decades later that ARPANET evolved into the public Internet. The first electric razor was steam-powered. Before modern electric razors, there were bizarre prototypes. One of the strangest was a steam-powered razor created in the 19th century. It resembled a mini steam locomotive and used water vapor to rotate the blades. The problem? It was loud, bulky, and pretty dangerous. Not surprisingly, it never took off. The first photograph took 8 hours to expose. The world's oldest surviving photograph was taken in 1826 by French inventor Joseph Nicephore Niepce. The image shows a view from his window, but to capture it, the exposure had to last over 8 hours. The result was a blurry black and white image, but it changed the history of visual communication forever. Toilet paper was a flop at first. Today we can't imagine life without toilet paper, but when it was first sold in the United States in 1857, it didn't catch on. People thought it was too expensive, unnecessary and uncomfortable. Instead, many people preferred using newspapers, catalogues, or even dried corn husks. It wasn't until the hygiene movement in the 20th century that toilet paper became a household staple. The first color palette was created by a king. Colors are an everyday part of our lives, but did you know the first official color palette was created by a king? In the 17th century, French king Louis XIV enacted a law that dictated which colors could be worn by certain classes. Only nobles were allowed to wear rich hues like purple or royal blue. This created a system that resembled modern color palettes used in design, branding, and fashion. Inventions shape the world, but their origins are often far more surprising than we realize. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more unbelievable facts. And let us know in the comments, which of these 10 facts shocked you the most?